Hey everyone, today's video is two parts. The first part is I'm going to be answering questions and statements from my viewers, which we haven't done for a little while. The second part is talking about the grim state of Porsche sales at the moment. I promised an update once the first week of November allocations came through, which they just did. What that means is they get 3 months worth of allocations all in 1 week, most dealers, and we get a view of how many cars they can sell over the next 3 months through to February. So we'll talk about that. But first, let's take a few questions and statements from my viewers. Starting with Jim. Jim writes, when will we see more of your sister Becky on your channel, Nick? She's the only reason I watch. I think she's the only reason a lot of people watch. And it's grim news there. I'm sad to say that Becky's priorities are right out the window. She's, instead of helping with my YouTube channel, she's gone off and found the love of her life and got married to a really nice chap, so I'm very happy for her. And yeah, if you have a look at that minister that married her, he looks suspiciously familiar, doesn't he? Anyway, so we won't see too much of Becky, but maybe next time she's visiting, we'll get her on the channel. And I wish her all the best in her newfound marriage. Yeah, well deserved. She's so great. Next question is from Ron, who writes, how about a haircut, Nick? Well, I got a lot of these statements or questions, and I did get a haircut. See, it's a little bit shorter on the side. So there you go. I do listen. I do take notice of your comments. I went and got a haircut. Yeah, it's still a bit long on the top. Anyway, yeah, whatever. Mark writes, hey Nick, why do you suddenly look so old? I am old, Mark. What am I going to do about it? These things happen. We get old. Next statement is from Mumba, who clearly likes my car. He writes, Mumba Lulu, Nick. Exactly, Mumba. Pradeep makes a positive statement. Love the green paint. Here we go, someone that loves the color of my car. Have you lost weight? Yes, I have. I've lost a little bit of weight, maybe 25 pounds. I got a little bit chubby during the COVID time, so I had to lose a bit of weight. Still got some weight to lose though. I like the hair. See, someone that likes the hair and very smart. She thinks my hair is very smart. So thank you, Pradeep. A positive comment. That's good. Andrea writes, can we get a little more detail on the barbecue dipping, Nick? No, we can't, Andrea. Jacob asks, hey Nick, what's up with the ugly New Zealand potato I just saw on the news? Well, Jacob, it's New Zealand. Weird shit comes from there all the time. Just strange people. What can I say? Did you know that New Zealand is the home of the longest bra fence in the world? There you go. I'm going down to New Zealand in a few weeks, so I'll report on the strange things that happen in New Zealand. Tony makes the comment, that's why we love you, Nick. You're just the right amount of shitty. I think so. I think I'm just the right amount of shitty. There you go. That's why you watch. Next, Colin states, I don't know. It seems like the average person can't tell a new 911 from a 40-year-old one. And I completely agree, Colin. You know, it's because it's a shape. Same shape for the last almost 60 years. Most people are not car people. It's just the sort of 5% of us that are car people, and 911s particularly are very difficult. You know, you really have to be into cars to be able to spot the difference between a 991.1 and a 991.2 or a 997.2 and a 997.1. Yeah, you're working hard. Even if you're a car person, often you can't tell the difference. And because the Porsche 911 is such an iconic shape, sure, I've got a 95, and people constantly ask me whether it's brand new or not, even though it looks so beat up. So yeah, you're dead right, Colin, I agree. Money Flipper writes, Nick, you're the ultimate putz. Who uses that word anymore? It's like, when's that from? From, what was that program? Happy Days. It wasn't one of those characters, Putsy, maybe, I don't know, anyway. Casper writes, you're a complete asshole, ? So I guess it started out like a statement, but I guess it's a question. You're a complete asshole? Yes, Casper. I guess we all are in a way. Anyway, on to the main point. Let's talk about the allocations to dealers this week. As I said, this was the week that the dealers got their allocations, their next 3 months worth of allocations, which is telling them what cars are going to be produced by what models and when, right up until February. And right off the bat, it's a disappointing number. It's not going to fix the current problem that no one can buy new cars. Well, there were some decent numbers for Cayennes and for Macans, not as much as they normally get. most dealers got a decent handful of those. So Macan bases, Macan S, and different types of Cayennes, they should be selling a few of those. Even a GTS model thrown in here and there. But otherwise it was grim pickings. Let's jump straight to the 911s. Overall there was about 900 911s allocated for the next 3 months, which is not a lot, you know, 300 cars for the whole country each month. That's just not enough. There is about 190 dealers in the country, so you do the math on that. It's very few, just a handful of cars. Some dealers, if you're a smaller dealer, you get maybe 2 cars. If you're a larger dealer, you might get 4 or 5 cars. It's not enough to deal with the huge backlog of 911 purchasers waiting out there that have put down deposits. Some dealers will have 10 or even 20 people waiting for 911, so this is going to do nothing to fix that. And to give you an idea of how small this number is, 900 cars for the next 3 months, normally in normal times Porsche gives out around 2,500 cars for the same time period. So you can see this is less than half of that, so the situation is just going to get worse. So those of you that have got deposits down for 911s, and I know a lot of dealers have told people, you know, just wait until October, November and we'll have your car for you. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think a lot of dealers are expecting a bit of a windfall for this allocation round, and it just hasn't happened. So there's going to be a lot of awkward conversations, which leads me to say, you know, be careful about putting down deposits with dealers at the moment, because they don't know when they're going to get a car, and a lot of dealers are just, you know, deposit farming, just collecting tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars in deposits for cars they can never, you know, deliver, not for another 6 months, year, 18 months or more. So yeah, you're better to shop around and ask as many dealers as you can. You got any allocations for this model that I want? And just keep asking. It's the only way, and you may never get it, but people that put the effort in do seem to find a car here and there. So other models, even the Taycan models, which were selling so well at the beginning of the year, only a handful of those going out as well. And the 718s, just hardly any of those, but the base model and the S model, they've got a few. The GTS 4, which were so many people waiting on, none of those. It's an odd situation, because that's the car that has been so sought after by so many people. It's finally lifted the 718 models to being a really, you know, everybody wants one because they had a great engine, but of course they've had problems with that engine, and maybe that's why they're not delivering. Yeah, so and of course finally the GT3 models. Well, most dealers got 2, 3 or 4 GT3 allocations before this allocation round. No additional ones on this allocation round, and no tourings yet. The touring, we don't expect to see the touring models until next year anyway. So yeah, grim times if you want pretty much any Porsche model except for a base Macan, and that's what we expected. And it's just going to mean that the used car prices will continue to stay high for now. And if you want a new Porsche, you're just going to have to wait. You're going to wait until they allocate more to the US area, which is something that I'd like to point out, is that there are other countries getting a lot more cars. And why is that? Why does the US get so few compared to other countries? Well, it comes down to the US and Canada, the cars are priced a lot lower. It's a marketing thing. You know, they decide if we price it lower, we'll sell more and make more profit in the US and Canada, whereas only so many people are going to buy it in other countries, so we'll price it higher. So right now they're giving, I'd say, I'm not an insider, I'd say they're giving priority to the countries that they make the more money on. If they can only produce so many cars, it makes sense for them to send those cars where they've got a higher profit margin, as opposed to the US and Canada, which is the lowest profit margin. So of course we're going to be the last to get cars. So bad news, I'm afraid. We just had to wait. I'd be guessing anyone wanting a new 911, you're certainly likely to be waiting another 6 months to 18 months, and over the next 3 to 6 months, you're not going to be paying recommended retail price either. You're going to be paying over. All dealers are now charging over MSRP. So yeah, don't overpay for these cars. Goodness, they're already overly priced, over expensive. Everything about Porsche is expensive. So just be calm, wait, go and get yourself a Toyota in the meantime. Yes, yep, grim news, but that's it. If you've got any questions about that, do leave them in the comments below. And yeah, I'm heading off to New Zealand in a couple of weeks, as I said. And yeah, if you want any of my silly t-shirts, I'll put the links in below, or the towels, I'll put the links in below. And yeah, thanks for watching everyone as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye then.